Ooh, what's going on YouTube? Hot diggity dog, it's Donnie all day. So, I've been asked lately more and more about doing some range techniques. And there's nothing better to do with BB and pellet guns than practice. Practice when you're using your real stuff, which I just put away, which is over there. So, the best thing to do now, I have my Glock that I made personally, built from scratch. It was an 80%er, and somebody called it the Gucci Glock. It's a basic, pretty much, it's same size, same weight, same feel, pretty much. Even though mine's a little bit different, it's still, you want to use something close enough. If you have a more of a compact 1911, get yourself a BB gun that's a compact 1911. That way, when you practice, you're practicing and then shooting for real with what you're actually going to use. So if somebody came in, I would personally be using my Bernas. But if not, and I had my Glock around, then it would be the Glock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one little exercise that I do. And I'm not going to, I have it loaded with like 15 BBs in here, so it's going to be very quick. I'm just going to show you one time go through. This is only the second time I've ever shot this gun, because the first time I didn't know that there was a secondary right there, safety in the trigger. I know about the regular Glock safety, but there's another one that goes through the trigger that I didn't know about. So when I did my initial video, I went to shoot it and could not shoot it. Didn't know why. I had to find out later. Sweating. But once I figured it out, then I went out there and I shot it and I showed you guys, I targeted some cardboard in the eye. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down like if I'm in the house and I hear an intruder, and I'm going to present that way. So it's not going to be from the holster. This is, in most self-defense situations, it's going to be in your home in close quarters, and you're not going to need to do a drawn fire. It's not going to be a shootout at the OK Corral. This is going to be you surprising somebody who's hoping not to be surprised, who's doing something wrong. And it's generally going to be some crackhead trying to lift your stuff, right? So I'm going to come in and I'm going to have gun down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan and search. And when I give myself the moment, when I see the head, because I have a human head size on a cardboard, that's going to be my first target, headshot. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple bottles like this, skinny little bottles near it, and then I'm going to try to go aim small, miss small. So basically, a headshot is hard enough because it's only this big, and you need to aim there. So I'm not using a body target. I'm using just a head. And I'm going to go from head to this because I want to make sure that I can hit a small target as well as a big target. Now, it's not about how fast you can get off your rounds. It's how accurate you can get them off in a timely manner. Told you I'm sweating. So let's go do that. This is going to be a really quick video. I'm just going to show you what I do personally for my practice. And this is the kind of thing that I practice doing. I do headshot, tiny shot, and usually I'll do a third one, tiny shot. So let's go and get that done. Okay, so I am right now about 10 yards away. What I'll do is I'll just walk up a few steps. So I'll probably be around 7 yards. Remember, not everybody has some 30-foot foyer that they're going to walk through before, they get to a target 50 yards away. Even in the Army, we train, a lot of our training is up close, because you don't want to take on a gunfight more than 50 yards, because if they're out there and you shoot and you miss, now they know where you are. They're aware. So you want to shoot at what you know you can hit, right? Almost a guarantee. And with our rifles, our M4s in the military, that 14-inch barrel is pointing right where I need it to, within 50 yards, 50 meters. It's going to hit whatever I aim at, no matter what. So it's the same thing with here. You are aiming at something that you pretty much know you can hit at a distance you know you can hit it from. You don't want to shoot somebody all the way across your house and have a chance to miss and then put them on the ready, because maybe they're stuffed in a bag and they have a gun that might not be in their hand yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through like my house, and I'm already at the ready. I'm already up because I happen to know this person's not supposed to be in my house. This isn't like I'm walking down the street. I'm not at the ready. It's in my holster, right? So I'm going to be ready. I'm scanning. As soon as I see that head, I'm going to begin my shooting, all right? So it would look like this. This is how I do my personal training, and this is what I like to do. I come out, I scan. When I find my target, head, bam, head, bam, bam. And now I know that not only was my shot tight, but I was able to dispatch whatever the hell I needed, whatever was in front of me. So it's I know it's a small thing. It's not a big exercise, but it's an effective exercise. I know that when I am up and I'm cruising through, as soon as I know there's something there, I know where my safety is on this. It's right here. Boop, boop, boop. So it's not like I'm outside and I'm wondering like, okay, what's going on? And I'm walking around like this. You're not keeping your finger on your trigger in an unknown situation where it could be it could be a raccoon, right? This is in the house, and whatever's there is not supposed to be there. I already know it. I'm well aware whatever I'm about to encounter, I shouldn't be encountering, right? So in the house, I'm not afraid to put my finger at the ready. Anywhere else, always keep. You never touch the trigger unless you're willing to kill what you're willing to shoot, right? So, man, I'm getting eaten alive. With that, I know it could be some crackhead lifting the TV or doing whatever. I am ready, and I am coming, and I am scanning. And as soon as my eyes catch what I need to hit, I need to recognize that this target could be the bad guy. Like, I need to do it like that. But I need to do it a little bit less than that as well, because I don't want to shoot the wrong guy. What if your brother comes in unannounced because he had an argument with his wife, and he's like, oh, I'm going to go to my brother's because now I'm drunk, and I'm going to sleep on his couch. And he just comes in and hopes he's being quiet, but because he's drunk, he doesn't know how much noise he's making. And that happens, right? That happens all the time, where people come to your house, not maybe you personally, but go to people's houses and don't come announced, but try to sneak in because they don't want to wake you up, and they figure maybe they'll just tell you about what happened in the morning. So if you go in and you're scanning and you see movement and pop, pop, pop first, without getting a positive identification on is this a bad guy or a good guy, well, you could just screw yourself. So in that scan, head, identify. Okay, I know it's a target, pop. Then the small targets, hitting those, going pop, 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 is just a way for me to hone in my aiming, my own skill. So I know I can hit a headshot without question. It's those three pieces that are only this wide, pop, 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 in order, having to move from one to the other, you know, not shooting at the same. If it's one thing if I'm going pop, pop, pop at the same target, but I have to shift. And if I can hit those, then I know in my own head, I should be able to hit something this big, right? I should be able to hit something this big if I can hit something this big. So that's why I do that. That's why when I come out and I practice, I do that kind of thing. I go from a regular size target, like a human head target, to tiny targets. Because if I can hit those little ones, that other one's going to be no freaking problem. And this, definitely no problem. So that's it. I was asked to do a video on some of my course training type stuff, of what I do for course training. And I don't have to do the course training where I'm doing 35 room entries and going for, and having the shotgun here and then putting a pistol here and then I'm not doing that. I did all that training. That's what the Army gave me, right? So I've been through all that, but that's not the situation I live in, right? I don't live in a situation where that's the kind of exercise I need to do. I need an exercise where I can say, I acquisition to target, I recognize a target, I dispatch a target. That's all I got to do. So when people see all these coursings, they do all these crazy things. Okay, it's not about that. You'll see a lot of these courses where they'll run through and it's a timed course. And that's great just to see how fast you are, but that does nothing when it comes to see how good you are when the crap hits the fan. Especially if you don't know what your target is yet. Because you'll see these people, they do these courses and they run through and they have timers and they're going shotgun, you have to do a certain amount of shots with that. Then you have to do a certain amount of shots with something else, a certain amount of shots with something else. And they're going fast, and a lot of times they're pop-up targets or this and that. When you're shooting that fast, you're not recognizing what you're shooting. Take the time in real life to recognize, but don't take too much time because you don't want them to recognize you as well, right? So, I don't know. If you're going to do training, do realistic training. Because if I do all the unrealistic training in the world, when things actually happen to where I need my training to come through, I might be trained wrong. You don't want to use the wrong training for the wrong situation. Right training, right situation. Keeps you alive. Keeps them not alive. All right, so that's it for this one. I am Donnie all day. Till next video.